Greetings, everyone. We're so happy to be here today. Today is a new day. It is a day that the Lord has made, but He said He gives us new mercies every day. And great is His faithfulness. And we're just so excited today. And the question to you today, who's really leading your life? Is it you or is it Yahweh? Let's get started. So, as we get started today, Minister Wanda, I'm so grateful that you're here and um, that you choose to be here. You could say, "Look, this is lame. This is corny." This you could say anything and not be here. You could have just texted me and said, "I just don't feel like it today." But even through all of our feelings and our emotions and 6 a.m. in the morning, I'm
Amen.
grateful that you're here. And I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for gracing us with your beautiful face. And as we go through this morning, I'm just grateful that we have the opportunity to call upon his name, to talk
Yes.
of his name. When I first started, I said I didn't want this to be like an biblical broadcast in so many words. I can't help it. He is part of my life, and I have
Absolutely.
all these plans other than what his plan was. So here we
Right.
are today.
Right.
And every week it's like, oh man, it's more and more talking about his goodness and his mercy
Yes,
that
ma'am.
endure forever. And I'm so grateful that it does endure forever. I'm so grateful. I thought about this. I'm grateful I accepted his invitation. What do I mean by that? To come into his fold.
Mhm.
You know, so many are out there, but they haven't accepted the invitation. They're
Mhm.
not interested in the invitation. And I'm just so grateful that I had a right mind to want to accept his invitation. So as we go through today, I'm going through with a grateful heart. And here's my mirror. I did
Yay!
not forget you.
Yay!
And as I look in the mirror, even as you look in the mirror, do you say, is life worth living? Do you say, why am I here? Do you say, what's the purpose? If that's what you're saying, I want you to know that you do have a purpose and a destiny, but I want you to know that this is a new day. And in this day, if you change your words, if you change the way you think about things and you see things, because we can be down and out because of the way our perspective of things. And when our perspective is not right, we usually agree with the enemy quickly.
Hmm.
I'm not this, I'm not that. Why am I here? Is life worth living? So before I go any further, I am Leslie Montgomery. And you are tuned into LKM Kingdom Living Leslie's Lessons Learned. And I am so appreciative that you're here today. As I say every Sunday, we talk about different topics, and in the new year is going to be different. But we talk about health, we talk about relationships, we talk about faith, we talk about um, just the purpose of life. Why do we live? Why are we on this earth? We know that we're not here for our own purpose, but so many people don't realize that you have a purpose for being here, and your purpose has a destiny. You got to go somewhere. Joshua sat and was in mourning so long that Yeshua said to him, get up. Not Yeshua. Yahweh said to him, get up. Moses is dead. You
Mhm.
got something to do. And I want to say to you this morning, get up. You have something to do. You can't linger in what was. Why? He's not there. You can't go ahead because he's not there. Whereas he's right here with us now. And his desire is to for us to be in a place that we have yielded ourselves and say, Yahweh, let your will be done in my life. It might not look the way you think it's supposed to look. It might not even be the way you thought it would be. But I want you to know without a shadow of a doubt that he has a great plan for you. And as we go through today, um, we're going to be talking about, I guess, personal growth, faith. You know, we're going to be talking about who's guiding you. All right, Minister Wanda.
Good morning. Good morning. Let me first say I'm just so grateful to be here with you. And you look beautiful today. I love your hair and I
So
love
do
that color
you.
on you. You look so
Thank you.
amazing today. So I just wanted to say that. But good morning to everyone. Might even be afternoon in some parts of the world. And you know what? It just might be evening in other parts of the world. So I just want to greet you today. My name is Wanda L. Floyd. I am a licensed hair care professional. I've been licensed for over 31 years. I'm also a barber and I am a certified hair loss practitioner. I'm an author. I do some things in ministry. And in February, I do have an event coming up that I'm excited about that is entitled Enough is Enough. And we all have already secured two speakers. There might be two more, um, but it is on. It's February the 6th. That's a shame. I can't remember my own thing. I believe it is February the 6th. It's Sunday, February. Give me a second. Yep, it's Sunday, February. I'm sorry, February the 8th at 3 p.m. and it's going to be held in Antioch, California. So just in case it is an in-person event, I have not worked out live streaming yet, but just in case you do want to come visit me in the Bay Area, you can, you got time because it's February the 8th. Right now, our speakers are Dr. Inisa Mathis, and she's going to close the event out, and Miss Nicole Holmes, who is going to talk about self sabotaging. Enough is enough. And so I just wanted to drop that there with you to give you time and let you know about it. Because if I didn't, Prophet Leslie was going to say, "What? Aren't you having something?"
Me? Would I have done that? Yes, and it's I'm excited. I'm excited for it, and it's true. Enough is enough. It's time for us to let go of the old and begin to live in the new. The refresh, He's refreshed us. We live in stuff so long that we miss the opportunity to even embrace what He has for us because we've been wallowing and woe is me and nothing ever works out right, all these different negative things we tell ourselves, and we smile in front of the people, but we're broken behind the scenes. We're broken. It used to be a time that the mothers could tell exactly where you were in your life or what you had going on, and
Mhm,
because they were so in tune.
mhm,
And I think that's a what is it? Something that's lost in the church. Society has made us so busy that we don't even have the time to, see about one another. And sometimes He'll drop it in our spirit, and we'll say, "I'll call them in a little while," and never call them.
yeah.
Never call them, never pick up the phone. And we miss the opportunity for what Yahweh was trying to do through us to help them. It's not about us, it's about Him. So everything we do, we need to be radically obedient, operating in what he would have us to operate in. And what is that? Spirit and truth, being obedient to his word, being obedient to what he has in store for us. Most of us don't even know he has anything in store for us because we're so far in the back, in the past, thinking about what was, and is or not is, that we forget the fact that he has plenty for us to do. So I'm going to play
Yes.
Minister Wanda's video. I got a lot of trying to do a lot over here. Where is it? Here it is.
What did you do to my sign?
I wrote the saying, but in different words.
Thanks, love.
Change your words, change your world. Changes your world. And Minister Wanda, I don't know if you want to speak to that because you love.
Absolutely. I love this video. I think it tears me up every time. Um, but just by merely switching what he said, it changed his world. People were happy to give, where he was saying, I'm blind, please help. Just changing that the day, it's a beautiful day, but I can't see it. That grabs someone's heart and makes them appreciative of what they have, and their heart goes towards you. And so his world literally changed by rewording what was said. And today you might be feeling like, I just it's like my conference. Enough is enough. I can't take anymore. I'm over it. It's not working out. This is not the way I saw my life. Nothing is going right. Ugh, I just want to give up. Well, we're here today to tell you, I need you to change your perspective. I need to change the way you view things. And because you have a purpose, you have a destiny. And a lot of times when we're in the midst of what we're going through, we cannot see far ahead to understand or even care about having a destiny. It's what I'm going through now, and we feel as if we can't go on. Well, we want you to know this morning that your life is important, and what this world would be without you in it. And we have a saying here that simply states that a life without you is like a world without color. And if you notice that video, everything was in black and white, right? You couldn't well, there was a little color, but it was drab. It was a a dreary day, and even she had on shades, but it was a dreary day. So what she was saying was it might be gloomy and look like it's gonna rain, but baby, I see sunshine. And so I want everybody to say this with me, because we live in a voice activated kingdom, and what comes out of your mouth literally changes the world around you. So we're going to say it together. You ready? One, two, three. A, a world without me. How do we say it?
A
A
world.
life
Um,
without me.
it's like a world without color.
Without color. Say it one more time. One more time. A life
Life
without
without
me
me,
is
it's
like a
like a
world
world
without
without
color. See,
color.
just that quick, y'all. I I lost it. That's what happens when you get older. But I want you to know that literally Yahweh made this world, and each of us have our unique color. And a life without your color in it is it's just bland. It's blah. It has no pizzazz. And we need your color. Your family needs your color. Your job needs your color. Your neighborhood needs your color. The world needs your color. So be happy about this day. Rejoice in being in this day, because you are definitely needed. Miss Leslie.
Yes, and I wanted to bring up your flyer, if that's okay.
Okay.
This is the event, and the event is Enough is Enough. Change the game, not the player. And it's Sunday, February 8th, 2026. We're just about there, y'all, at 3 p.m. And it's at the Lemon Tree, 514 West 2nd Street. And that's, what's that?
Antioch.
An- Antioch, California. I'm sorry, 94503. So if you want to be a part, and I know you have a new flyer out there. That's just the one I have, because you have one with
Yeah.
both your speakers on it.
Mhm. Yeah, and as we add them, there will be new flyers, but there are several things that we're going to cover. We're going to cover procrastination. I'll be speaking about procrastination. We're going to be talking about getting over grief and letting go of grief. We're going to be talking about keep sticking ourselves in the same type of relationships, whether they're romantic, business, friendships. Why do we keep attracting the same type of people? Enough is enough.
Nothing.
So just something to help us
Get our
jump.
head out the sand.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I know it's going to be amazing. I just want to take a moment and greet some of the ones I see on here: Pastor Daphne, Sister Doreen, Pastor Jackie. Um, the thing is not acting right today. Who else is there? Sister Michelle. Hey, Sister Michelle. Um, Sister Madeline, Miss Madeline is on here. I saw, Sister Alfreda is on here. So, hey, Tiffany. Tiffany's on here. Miss Dana. Welcome everyone that's on here. If I missed anybody's name, it's not on purpose. But we've just wanted to greet those that are here that has said something, and those that haven't, and just say welcome. We're glad you're here. So, Minister Wanda, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Psalms 23. And I hope that I can get through this without tears, because I just feel overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed from um, even yesterday, the Sabbath. And every time I go into Sabbath and I sit with the Father, it gives me a deeper revelation of who He is in my life. And it helps me to appreciate sit making that this. I made two decisions: the decisions to accept his invitation and the decision to sit with him, that he could delight in me and I delight in him. And for years, just living life the way I wanted to live it, and that's why it says, are you really leading? Are you leading your life? Are you really the one leading your life? And that's something I have to say often, because I don't always get it right. And I don't always think he's telling me the right thing to do. He might tell me to go left, and I might say, well, I thought if I go right, it'd be better, or go left, it'd be better. And that's not what he's told me to do. So, as David has been such a great example of being a shepherd, he was a shepherd and he knew what it was to shepherd. I don't know if I talked about it on here or not, but one of the things that we can say about David and Nathan, I think it was, that to the house, went to the house and was looking for a king. And he saw the physique of the brothers. He saw how fine they was, and he was like, "That's it." And the father was like, "No, I don't operate. Hey, sis, I don't operate with the outer appearance. It's got to be in the heart." There's another one, and he said, "Do you have another son?" And they was like, "Yeah, but he's in the field." He says, "I'll wait. Go get him." David spent time with the sheep. David spent time in the pasture. David spent time to hear the Father. And when he did, it made him a component, or not component, but made him, what's the word I want to use? Um, made him a, yes, made him be able to be selected. We talk about the lamb, and how the lamb has to be chosen, and how it's got to be pure, and it's got to be young, and how David was all those things. He was young, he was pure, and the Father had a greater purpose for him, but he had to teach him from the aspect of leading, because he was going to be a king that leads. And sometimes we get it kind of twisted, I would say, understanding the cons, or the thing that it all goes together, that it's David being a shepherd could relate to a shepherd, could relate to a king, could relate to one that was higher than him. Uh, just the fact that he was in he wasn't just hanging around with his brothers, he was about his father's business. And maybe he didn't understand that because he was so young, but he was right in the place that the father wanted him to be. And when I think about that in our lives, and we think that our lives are supposed to be one way, and we try to address it in that way, or try to do things the way we think it's supposed to be done, and that is not the assignment of the Father. David learned through the years what it was to be someone to lead. When he was anointed king, it was years before he became a king. He fought Goliath. He fought the what he said. I took the jawbone out of the lion's mouth. He talked about, to when he went over to the battle, to tell them he was prepared to go be against Goliath, and they were like, "Ain't no way." They couldn't see who he was. They couldn't see the greater part of him. And they was like, who is this? And his brothers was like, what you come down here for? To be all nosy and stuff like that. Go home where you belong. But he was even on assignment then. His father sent him to check on his brothers. He was on assignment from the beginning, but they didn't know it. They didn't recognize what was in him. They didn't recognize who he was. How many of us are living today and people don't recognize who we are, who we've been called to be, who we've been created to be? They just see who they think we are. And because of that, a lot of times it causes us to go left when we should be going right because we're trying so hard to prove that we are somebody. We're trying so hard. David didn't try. David knew who he was. He was confident in who he was. He's like, man, he ain't nobody. He's a stinking Philistine,
Right.
an unclean, stinking full of Philistine. And what
Right.
y'all scared of?
Right. I love it.
You was gonna say something.
No, no, I love it. That's why y'all know I love David. If
Say,
y'all been around, y'all know David is my dude. So yeah, from a child, I love when you said he was confident because he very much was a confident young man. And guess what? He had to be because of how he grew up. And he told him, "Look, I've fought lion and bear to take care of these sheep." Now that's something in itself. When we get ready to go to these psalms, that as their shepherd, I had to protect them. As their shepherd, I had to keep them, and
yes,
so I had to keep them safe. So I ain't this uncircumcised Philistine. Y'all gonna let him come against the army of Yahweh? Really? Y'all scared of him? Scared of him for what? And he literal in all of them. All of them. But
literally.
confidence really wasn't in himself. His confidence was in who he had the relationship with. He knew that it wasn't his own strength that allowed him to deliver those sheep out of the mouth of a lion and protect them from the bear, but it was the one who was with him that was leading him and guiding him. So yeah, that's good, Prophet
Yeah,
Ivy.
that's true. And that is good because it is so important that and you know what? Our purpose is in us from a child.
Is
We don't realize it's already in us. And to be confident in who he was, because, like you said, he spent time with the Father on the up there and those mountains with the sheep and protecting them. They, when they, and I was going to show a picture of it maybe next Sunday. Uh, they travel the same direction every day,
mm,
and the ridges is in the hills as they go up and come down. You can see just it's just ridges like road. You know how you have a hill and you can see the road coming. Well, that's how they are even in the as out in the wilderness in the
wow.
desert, you know, and every day they travel the same track. Can I say to us that every day there's a track that we need to be on that's the same? And that's waking up, giving Yahweh his time first. Some people do it in the evening, some people do it different times, but every day you should be spending time with the Father. And David, I'm using David, all the shepherds, they had the rod and they had the thing to ward off the
The staff.
attacks of the
The staff. Mm,
yeah. And when the sheep would get to the edge or almost fall off, they take the rod and pull them back up. If you're going through your day without him, There's nothing for him to hold, get to grab, or there's nothing you can't see his handiwork. What do I mean? If you get up every day and just go about your day, you don't thank him, you don't pray, you don't find that time to stay with him, to get directions from him, you will go off the cliff and won't even know why. Even though the sheep was not smart enough to know not to go off the cliff, they had someone to direct them. Your direction, and those sheep spend time with the shepherd, so they know the shepherd's voice. My
Come
sheep
on.
know my voice.
Come on.
If you don't spend time with him, if you don't give him what he desires from you, then you won't know his voice. When you're about to make a mistake and he says don't do it, and you do it anyway because you wasn't sure, or you didn't know that that was him telling you not to do it, and then you go through it and say, man, he was trying to tell me not to do it, and I did it anyway. There's so many ways that we live life our own way.
Mm.
We don't allow him to be our shepherd. And when we don't allow him to be our shepherd, we have a lot of chaos. We have a lot of pain. We have a lot of disappointment. We have a lot of depression. We have all those things that you say enough is enough. When we are in a space that we allow him to be a greater voice than our own voice, and to lead us, man, we have more peace, we have more joy, and we have a stability. The Father wants us daily to have a stability. He wants us daily to walk by faith and not by sight. And when we are in a rush and we don't take time, and we will be just like the Saul's army at the looking at Goliath and not knowing that they have the authority to attack him or counteract what he's doing. David counteract what he was doing. And he said, I'll take his head off. And he did, because he knew who he was.
And the issue with Saul's army is that they were looking at the size of the enemy.
Yes.
They were looking at the size of the enemy. Look what I'm facing. Look who's trying to take us out. We've handled many other uh, threats. We've handled much more adversaries who've come against us, um, and we've had to fight. But those fights were something we could handle because we recognized it, and it was the normal size of people. But now we're facing giants. We're facing the Philistines. And they done brought in this ginormous giant.
Giant.
This problem is bigger than anything that I've ever faced. And what David, again, I can see him, he's showing me again, KYC. David's calling. What he shows us is that David didn't look at the size of the problem. David didn't look at the size of the person that was spewing threats. David didn't look at the size of what they were facing, while everybody around him did. Because why? He knew that his Elohim was bigger than anything that they were facing. And again, who's really leading your life? David literally allowed Yahweh to lead him so that when he was facing trouble, he realized, I'm not facing this alone. Yahweh is with me. He is my shepherd. I don't want for anything trouble, problems, fear, an enemy. Oh, he ain't my enemy. He's Yahweh's enemy.
That's it.
He's come up against Yahweh's army.
Yes.
And that's what they didn't realize. This wasn't about them. This ain't about us. When the enemy comes against you, it really isn't about you. It's coming against the Elohim that's in you, the Elohim that has purposed something in you. That's what it's coming for. And David realized, oh no, he ain't trying to fight me. He's trying to come against Yahweh's army. So Yahweh gonna take him out. And that's how we have to face life.
Mhm. He didn't allow him to intimidate him. We allow our situations to intimidate us. And when we allow them to intimidate us, it keeps us from going
Mm,
forward. It makes us be stagnant, paralyzed,
yeah,
fear. And that's the biggest thing. They had fear of the enemy.
yes.
And because they had fear of the enemy, they would not pursue the enemy. And David was one, like you said, he was just a teenager, still a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, y'all got to be kidding. And when I heard his brother, I said, oh, that's jealousy. What you come out here for?
Right.
You just want to be nosy. And I said, oh, that's jealousy. And that's the same thing that, not talking about Joseph, but you said his brothers was jealous.
Mhm.
David's brothers was jealous. And that, just think about it. First of all, who come into the house to anoint you? You supposed to be out there with you. They should be anointing us. And why you come here? What are you here for? To be nosy? No, he was on an assignment from his father. All of his life, David was on an assignment from his father. Each and every one of you are on an assignment from your father. Either you're allowing him to develop that assignment, and because it's in you, it's not just becoming a part of you. It's not like the what's Michelle Obama's book, Becoming.
Mm,
No, it's in you.
yes.
You're birthed with it. And a lot of us look at other people and see how they seem to be in this great place, in great authority, doing all these great things, and think that's what you're supposed to be doing. David did not go up there trying to be the head captain. He didn't go up there trying to be, like his brothers. He went up there and he was like, "Oh, wait up. Let's just hold up here a minute. Y'all got to be kidding me." Now
Right.
he's a teenager
Right. Right. And he came to bring their food. Like
when he was on assignment to
right,
do.
you clapping back at me. What you doing here? And you know what? I believe they knew that it was something special
They
about David, even though they had him out hid, and because their mama wasn't his mama, and all of that. But they knew it was something special about him. That's why you, like you said, they when he came, what you doing here? You trying to be nosy? You sticking your nose in here? Look, I came to bring you something to eat. I came to see about y'all. Daddy sent me to see
daddy,
about y'all. Daddy sent
daddy sent
me
me.
to see about y'all, and I came to bring y'all something to eat. Now, what is going on here?
Right? He looking over them. What's who's that? What y'all doing?
Why y'all? What? What's wrong with y'all? Really?
Yeah.
And it's no different than us. We've been able to handle some things and some hurdles, and um we've trusted Yahweh to fight and bring us through some things. Because that's Yahweh's army. So they've had many other battles and they've won those battles with the help of Yahweh. But now this one is looking,
Philistines. It was something about those Philistines.
yeah, and they huge and they looking totally different than us. It's like them grapes in Canaan, you know.
Yeah.
It's like
They
it's
big, it's big. They have big grapes. They have big melon.
we can't, them people big, we can't, right? And they're looking at this giant because this is bigger than anything we have ever seen, and we're just little, like they said, grasshoppers in one story, uh How we gonna do this? Quickly we forget. How quickly we forget how Yahweh brought us through this. What makes this thing any different just because it's bigger? We look at the size, get intimidated by the size of the issue, the size of the problem, the size of the sickness, and forget that Yahweh just brought me through this over here. Well, the same Elohim that brought you through that is the same Elohim that will bring you through this. He cares nothing about the size. The bigger it is, the bigger the problem is, lets me know that I can't do anything. And it has to be all Yahweh or nothing at all. And that's why I brought you through these small things. Now, will you trust me with this big thing? Because guess what? You really can't do nothing about this. Keep hearing it. Is there anything too hard for Elohim? And there isn't anything too hard for Elohim. So if he could bring you through the small, he could bring you through the giant situation as well, because it's the same Elohim.
Same Elohim. And he's not intimidated.
Absolutely not.
Never has been. And he tries to equip us to not be intimidated, that when the things come up against us, that we will turn to him. David went and got his 5 smooth stones. He already knew what he was going to do, and it only took one because of his trust in the Father. He didn't go in his own strength. He went, like you said, in the trust of the Father. And that's where we sometimes make our mistakes. We're not saying you don't go through. We're not saying things don't come up against you. But what we are saying is your perspective of how you go through it.
Absolutely.
Is it the end of the world? No. It could be, but it's not. Is it doom and gloom? No, because it's not in our strength that we're going to get through it. Now, in your own strength, that's why when you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror and say, why is life worth living?
Hmm.
You know, because you're looking at it through your own lens. And in our lens is not always clear. It's foggy, smudgy,
Cracked,
um, or
scratched, scratched, cracked. The frame needs to be repaired so the lens keep falling out.
and how about when we outgrow the lens and can't see clearly?
Mm.
And we have to go so that we can upgrade our lens.
You need a new prescription.
Sabbath, and I'm talking about Sabbath because I do Sabbath. I'm not pushing Sabbath on anybody, it's a choice. But Sabbath helps me get a new perspective on life. Sabbath helps me see things clearly. What's that song? I can see clearly now, the rain is gone.
Yes.
There is a level of joy that comes in the midst of your storm when you sit with the Father. You might not can see your way out, but there is a way of escape. He already has made a way for each and every one of us to come out. He didn't leave. He said, I'll never leave you and I won't forsake you. So don't think that wherever you are or whatever you're in right now, you're forsaken. Now, I will say this. If there's something that you need to rectify
Mm.
in order to be in right standing so that the Father will keep leading you, then you need to do that. Why do I say that? Now, this is David is older now. And now he sees Delilah. He he wants Delilah. He has Delilah. Desire gets pregnant. And then the prophet comes to him and tells him a story. He's like, who is it? We're going to cut his head off. And he said, it's you. And David, he immediately recognized that he needed to go before the Father and repent.
Yes.
There's some things that we do need to go before the Father and repent. And because there is no repentance, there is no clarity to what needs to be done, because now you have a gap. But to close that gap up, you got to repent and ask Him to forgive you. Some of you are looking, and I don't, some of you want to live life, like we said, leading it yourself, but you still want the benefits of what the Father has. The two have to match. There has to be a surrenderance. And when you surrender, then the inheritance becomes yours. So don't think just because you are in a place that you said, come into my heart, forgive me one time, and then you live life any your kind of way. You go back out there and you do what you've been doing. And that is, you're not getting his attention, but he's trying to get your attention. So things keep going wrong, things keep not happening because he's trying to get your attention. He wants you to be able to say the same thing David said: Yahweh is my shepherd. He wants you to say, he leads me. How many of us look, even this time of the year with Christmas, and a lot of people celebrate Christmas, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday. But how many of you, he's saying, don't buy that? You really can't afford it, but you're doing it because of what's in your heart for somebody else, or because I was listening to the other day on the radio, they was telling a story. A husband was talking about his wife, and they had three children. And the wife, in her mind, every child has to have the same amount, and it has to be the same dollar amount. He went out and bought something she told him to buy, and it caused the number to be off. So she had to go back out and buy something else to kind of, because she wants everybody to get the same amount. How many of us live our lives that way?
Mm.
We don't live it according to what the word says. We live it according to what our mind and heart tells us.
Mm.
Our mind and heart is not always towards the Father, especially when it comes to times like this and this time of the year. We'll stress ourselves out, and the Father's saying, don't do it. It's just one day. We'll stress ourselves out because we don't have a nice enough gift, or we don't have a gift to give. And we'll stress, we'll be heartbroken, we'll be sad, we'll be embarrassed because we don't have. It's one day that the enemy has used to put that wedge, put us in that wedge. This
Mm.
is when this is like their time that they come out. They come out of the red into the black. Why? Because we are out there spending money that we don't even have to spend to make someone else happy. And the Father is like, what I need them to get is what's in me. And yes, we love to give. And yes, we saw that the those that came to bring him gifts, Yeshua gifts. We know that the Father's a giver. We know that they came and laid gifts at his feet. We understand that. But it was all in the perspective of the way and the guidance of the Father. I'm not saying don't buy gifts. I'm not saying, what I'm saying is, what is the Father saying to you? Because the Father doesn't want you weighed down. He doesn't want you bogged out financially. And then once the day is over, now you're worried about how you're going to make that rent, how you're going to make that car payment, how you're going to do all these things that was things that are consistently in your life for one day. Seek the Father and let him lead you on how to do it. Let him lead you on how to use your money and spend your money. You'll be a whole lot happier and you'll be a whole lot peaceful when you do. I don't know what, I just saw that. It's 4 days away. People are panicking because they haven't finished shopping, they don't have enough gifts and all these things. And it's like, stop, sit down, pay attention and listen to the Father and get directions from him. Now, is he worried about, interested about Christmas? No. Is he? But he is also a loving father. You know what I mean? And we just have to make sure that we understand that him loving us, protecting us, guiding us has nothing to do with these holidays. It has to do with eternal life. And our life has to operate and follow in the directions that he would have us to go. I'm not telling look, don't go saying she said don't serve Christmas. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is be wise about what you do in this season. So, as we continue, and the Lord is my shepherd, as we continue to see or understand that the visual of that is Him leading and guiding us. If it says, tells us, if you read about the sheep, and the sheep don't really have a wherewith, they have to be led. And I'm not ashamed to say that I want Yahweh to lead me, that I want to be in a place that He's leading me and I'm not leading myself. It's a process. You got to go from no, always doing it yourself to surrenderance. It's a surrenderance. David had to surrender to the Father to come into covenant and understand what covenant was with Him. We have to surrender. We have to come into covenant with the Father and understand what it is to Him. I promise you, when you get into a place that you allow Him to lead you, and you not lead yourself, your life will be in a better position. How many of you grown? Most of everybody on here is grown. How many of you had lived a life that has caused you to be out of sync with the Father financially? Your finances are not in order. You did not prepare correctly for your retirement. You have not prepared for, some of you, yes, you live from paycheck to paycheck. But even in living from paycheck to paycheck, if you follow Him, He will expand that paycheck. If you listen and get directions from Him, that's one of the things that David rested in. David rested in the fact that no matter what he did, that the Father was going to take care of him. He showed himself faithful to David. Even when David made mistakes and repented, he showed himself faithful. The Father wants to show himself faithful to us. This Psalms 23, and it's not just a poetic writing. This is an experience that someone had in their life to understand who Yeshua was. And I shouldn't say was, is. Give him the time he desires to bring you and to develop you and mature you to be who he's created you to be. It's important. Minister Wanda, you want to say something?
No, you're doing well. you're, you're doing well. Maybe next week we can get into, if that's where Yahweh still wants us to be, we can begin to
Break it down.
down some of these words, because When we look at
Mm,
shepherd, when
okay.
you unpack it, it's gonna bless you. When
Yes.
you look at the word want, when it says I shall not want, it's gonna bless you. So uh if Yahweh allows us to be here next week, you're gonna want to be here next week because
Yeah, that's
it's
good.
pretty powerful. Yeah.
That's good. And the only thing we want you to do is learn to trust in Yahweh. Allow Him to lead you and guide you. And what I can't even, my eyes is hurting today. I'm sorry, y'all. Lead you and guide you into all truth. He wants to be the father of your life, the the one, the shepherd, the great I am. Man, when we say the Lord is my shepherd, Yahweh is my shepherd, and we know Him as the great I am, it will cause you to live a different life. And as you know, I always like to talk about the Israelites because they learned who the great I am was. But even with them learning who the great I am was, they still really didn't allow him to be their shepherd.
Because when you look at that word, and I'll give you just a little bit. When you look at that word, there are several defines to shepherd, and
It is.
we limit it to our knowledge of a shepherd. But when we look at this word, shepherd, Ra, it can mean, tending to a flock and all of that. But let's look at some of just a few of those defines. Um, to associate with as a friend, to associate with Yahweh is He's my friend, right? Companion, that's another define. Make friendship with, right? So when I look at that, Yahweh is my companion. Yahweh is he's my friend, right? And that's beautiful because even as a shepherd, there had to be a special kind of love there to care for them. And when you have a real, genuine friendship, there's love, there's care there. There's a desire to see you do well. I'm going to shield you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to keep you from hurting yourself. I'm going to tell you the truth, right? Even a friend is not going to always tell you the good, but they're going to correct you when you're wrong, right? They might bring a little chastisement, but you can handle it because it's from your friend and they only want the best for you, right? So Yahweh is my shepherd. I shall not want. And I'm going to leave this with you. We're going to come back next week. But let's look at this word want, and it's hasir. Uh, it means, by implication, it could mean to lack. I shall not lack. By implication, to fail. I shall not fail. I shall not be lessened. I shall not decrease. I shall not be made lower. And we know that when we are obedient to his word, Deuteronomy 28 says that I'll be the head and not the tail. And here, David is saying, I won't be made lower. Why? Because Yahweh is my friend. So, yeah, this is going to be so good. This is
It
going to
is
be
going to
so
be
good.
good.
Yeah, to
Uh,
open this up so we understand this better so that you can really look at it and say, who's really leading my life? Am I really allowing me? Because we say it all the time. I'm a friend of God
I am a friend of
every
God.
second. But are you really allowing him to be your friend? Are we really allowing him to be your friend?
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things that I heard when you were speaking and you was talking about it, the Lord is my lover.
Mm.
He loves us
Yes, he does.
enough to want to protect us.
Yes.
He loves us enough. He said, what's that? Man was not made for Sabbath. Sabbath was made for the man. He loved us enough to make Sabbath the man. And then, and
Dear.
then he, he also told us, and possibly, I forgot what I was going to say, but he also told us that, he also told us that he desires us to spend time with him. He desires for us to seek his face
Hmm.
and his righteousness. And we worry about things, but he says he'll take care of us when we take care of him. Oh, and he loved us so much, he said, I'm going to send my son. And my son's going to go to the cross on your behalf. The Lord Yahweh is my shepherd. I'm sending my son that you might have an opportunity to the tree of life all over again. We have to want to allow him to lead us and guide us into all truth.
Yes.
Ruach job is to remind us that Yahweh is our shepherd, we shall not want. So
And
next
he,
week, mhm,
yeah, I was just gonna say, and he can't, you said Ruach's job is to remind us. The thing is that if we don't have that word in us, he can't lead you. Because that's what he's leading you by,
mhm,
is his word. When you're having financial restraints and you want to understand what to do and how to do that, you go to the word. When you're having issues in your body and you need healing, you go to the word. So he can't lead us by his word if we don't know his word.
yeah,
And as you said, my sheep, my friends know my voice, and a stranger they will not follow. So is Yahweh truly your shepherd? Because if he is, there will be no lack. There will, oh, I'm so full right now. You won't want. There will always be provision. As Prophet Leslie says, he wants you to be in good health and prosper, even as your soul prospers. And how do we live? How do we prosper? By the word. So, in order for him to lead you, you got to have that word on the inside of you.
yeah, that's good. So until next week, we hope that those of you that do celebrate the holiday have a good holiday. Um, don't get caught up in what you don't have, but get caught up in loving on your family,
Yeah.
giving him the praise. He said, in everything, give thanks.
Yeah.
And that's what we desire that you do. Give him all that you have. Give him thanks, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like. As you're transitioning from doing things your own way to the way that he would lead you, give him thanks. And everything, give him thanks. So until next week, be blessed. And we will see you. Shout out to Apostle. Thank you for being here and everyone else that has been here. And we will see you next week.
Shalom.